Josh Hatcher here from Manlihood.com. One of the important lessons that my dad taught me when I was a kid was you can learn something from everybody. And I grew up in this tiny little town of about 700 people, and there was always some really interesting characters that would come by and talk to my dad, and he was always patient with them, and it was really neat. There was one guy, his name is Johnny Calusi, and Johnny was... I'm going to say he's autistic, although back in those days, the only word we had for it was retarded. And I'm not saying it because it's a bad thing or using it as a slur. That's the only word we knew how to describe him. I'm guessing now, based on my limited knowledge of mental health issues, he was probably autistic. But, and he was a little older than my dad, but he probably had the capacity of maybe a 9 or a 10-year-old, maybe a 12-year-old. But he had these giftings, these things he could do that he was brilliant at. He loved baseballs, whistles, and he loved pop cans because he would go around town. His father had left him an inheritance to take care of him, and it was only for the things he wanted, or only for the things he needed. For the things that he wanted to buy, he had to work to earn the money. So he would go around town and collect pop cans. But he also knew a lot about small engines. And my dad was trying to clear the land at the house that we had bought, and it was full of really high grass and trees, and they cleared the whole thing with a chainsaw and a lawnmower. I don't think they had weed eaters or anything else. And my dad was out there trying to work, and this lawnmower quit working, and he repaired it. He put a new spark plug in it, cleaned it up, and he goes out and he's trying to start it, and he just won't start. And Johnny comes by, and he says, "You'll need to put in a spark plug." My dad says, "Johnny, you don't know what you're talking about. I just did all that. I just took care of this thing, just redid everything. I put a brand new spark plug in it." He goes, "Try and start it again." And Dad tried to start it again, and it wouldn't start. And he said, "It's the spark plug." And Dad got really mad at him and said, "You leave me alone, Johnny. You go home." Well, and that wasn't usually like Dad, but Dad had been working hard, and he was a little tired, and Johnny was insistent. So Dad took apart he pulled the spark plug out to look at it, and sure enough, the brand new spark plug he had was cracked. And so here's this guy who you wouldn't think would know things like this, who really did know things like this, and Dad told me that story, and he told me, you can learn something from everybody. So I don't care who it is that comes into your path, take the time to get to know what they have to say, weed out the stuff that's no good. You can eat the hay and spit out the sticks, just like the old cow. And learn to take those good lessons out of anybody that you can. Because I really, truly believe that you can learn something from everybody.